Okay. Now we will go in depth within this project, and I'll just show you the agenda of the meeting. I would like to say that the first part of this meeting will be shared between me and Dr. Luca Ricci from RHE Consulting, that is the coordinator of this Mission Ocean project on marine pollution and marine remediation. I will deal with the administrative aspects of the open call. We will go in depth on examples of financed actions, eligibility, evaluation process and criteria, and the application procedure as well, because the aim of this webinar is just showcasing you the opportunity within this open call. Luca, just now we will start with showcasing you the project and its technical aspects, the reasons for this project, and so on. I also would like to say that this webinar is being recorded, and the registration will be also available in the next days within the YouTube channel of the project. Now I will give the floor to Luca. And he will give you this brief introduction on the remediation project.
Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm Luca Ricci, the project coordinator of the remediation project, and I will give you a very brief presentation about our project and the main goal, objective, our technology, and what where you can be included inside the project. Then Antonino will give you all the detail about the administrative process. So remediation project, it's basically the acronym of the project, and the full title, it's Responsive Hub for Long-Term Governance to Distress the Mediterranean Sea from Chemical Pollution. In the next slide, we can see the project concept. So basically, the remediation project is a 3-year European Union funded project aimed at reducing the chemical pollution in the Mediterranean. Inside this project, we aim to test microalgae-based technology to remove chemicals contaminants, but also the project include mobile and fixed sensor to monitor the chemical substances and also the water quality of the basin we selected. This data will be then collected and sent to the European Commission MODnet platform for the digital twin of the ocean. In the next slide, we can see the main challenge and the context. So the main context is basically the 5 new European mission that the European Commission launched. And in particular, we are included in the mission Restore Our Ocean and Waters by 2030. In this mission, the aim is to prevent and eliminate pollution of our ocean, sea, and waters. In the next slide, we can see the ambition of the remediation project. So the main ambition are to deploy chemical pollution remediation technologies based on microalgae and to assess their benefit by setting up a combined fixed and mobile cooperative monitoring system that provide water quality monitoring and also measurement of pollutant. Then we want to demonstrate the efficiency of the scaled prototype into 3 different piloting sites, the demo site basically. Then we want to assess and validate the responsiveness of the local community to manage this transformation, to engage 5 different potential associated regions, and this is the main reason we are organizing this webinar. And then we want also to test the remediation local community approach as the primary driver for a critical mass mobilization. In the next slide, we can see the scientific and technological goal of the project. So we have 6 technological goals, which are to develop the microalgae-based system to reduce heavy metals, PFAS, pharmaceutical, and pesticide in polluted water. Then we want to create an advanced microsensing system for real-time chemical pollution monitoring and integrate the microalgae solution and the monitoring system into existing wastewater treatment plant, basically to prevent pollution to be discharged from urban and industrial sources. Then the other aim is to do data integration. So the data collected will be integrated with the digital ocean of the European Commission, which has a platform, MODNet platform, which collects all the data on quality, on water quality. Then other objectives are related to the holistic model we are developing and also to the chemical protocols. So define protocols and identify the unregulated contaminants in water treatment. In the next slide, instead, we can see the other non-technological objective goals. So we have 6 non-technological objectives, which include guidelines for directives. So we need to provide guidelines and update to the most common European Union directive to engage citizens, but also to share data and to monitor and coordinating, let's say, the approach for reporting thanks to the support of the mission support platform. Finally, we want to replicate this project through a replication strategy, which also include this open call for associated region, and finally to disseminate and promote our project, but also the selected winners of the open call for associated region. In the next slide, we can see the key impact of the project. So basically, they are innovative solution for pollution reduction, but also accelerated uptake of technology, empower citizens, support the European Union legislation, and contribute to the digital ocean of the water knowledge system. In the next slide, we can see the core of the project. So this is just an image to summarize the technology basket of our project, which is mainly composed of 4 technology. The first one is a microalgae-based system, which is able to remediate water quality, thanks to the presence of 30 photobioreactor connected in series which collect the water from a water utilities or a wastewater treatment plant and remediate the quality of the water by reducing the presence of heavy metal, pesticide, or forever chemicals, but also pharmaceutical. Then the other technology are the fixed station and the mobile station. No, previous slide, please. So basically, this is the monitoring system of our project, which include 2 stations, able to monitor the water quality thanks to particular sensor called smart water cable sensor, which are able to detect, in addition of the main physiological parameter of the water, also the presence and the amount of specific contaminant, such as heavy metal, forever chemicals, but also pharmaceuticals. In the next slide, instead, we can say our methodology. So it's a methodology based on 5 steps that we are sure that this will ensure the success project delivery and also the achievement of the TRL that we are expected to achieve. In the next slide, we can see the 3 demonstration sites where this technology will be tested. So inside the remediation, and this is very important for the applicant of the open call, because basically the site you will propose when applying to the open call must have similar characteristic to the site included in the remediation project. In the remediation project, we have the Mar Piccolo, which is in Italy, in the Taranto Bay, which is an area known for heavy metal and forever chemical contamination. Then we have the second demo that is in Greece, in the Triasso Plain and Elfsin Gulf. And the third one is in Turkey, at the Izmit Bay at the Marmara Sea. In the next slide, we can see a focus on the Greek demonstration site, which is located in the Triasso Plain. the Triasso Plain is located in the Attica Peninsula and cover almost half of the population of Western Attica. This area is known to have to be heavily contaminated by both organic and inorganic contaminants. So this is the area, and the site selected is a wastewater treatment plant led by HEIDAP, which has been operated since 2012 and received the wastewater from 3 main municipalities of the Western Attica, but also from industry and craft businesses. The water of this wastewater treatment plant will be treated thanks to the technology of the remediation project. In the next slide, we can see the detail of the Turkish demonstration site, which is located in the Dilovasi district at the Izmit Bay, which again is a semi-enclosed bay, which is significantly influenced by an high industrial density, making wastewater management crucial for environmental sustainability. Inside this Izmit Bay, there is located the Dilovasi wastewater treatment plant, which is treating both domestic and industrial wastewater. Again, the water coming from this wastewater treatment plant will be collected and treated thanks to the technology of the project. Finally, we can see the third demonstration site of the, in the next slide, of the remediation project, which is the Italian demonstration site, which is in the Mar Piccolo, in the Taranto Bay, which is a significant example of a Mediterranean coastal ecosystem subjected to intense environmental stress and pollution, mainly due to the numerous industry and urban activities. In addition to, let's say, to the urban activities in this area, we have two high polluting industries, such as the Ilva, a steel-making industry, and the refinery from Eni. In this area, it's known to be a semi-enclosed basin because it's located inside Italy, but it's still a sea, and it's also heavily contaminated with heavy metal and forever chemicals. In the next slide, we can see instead the expected benefit for the demo site. So in each demo site, the microalgae photobioreactor, based on the patent Green Dune technology, were designed for use in successive modules to treat contaminated water right after the secondary or the tertiary treatment of the wastewater treatment plant, in a process that requires low energy consumption but also has a large remediation capabilities. Indeed, considering the expected microalgae-based remediation capacity of 10 cubic meters per day, we expect to reduce 90% of the chemical pollutants in the sea, in the selected area, and also to treat almost 3,600 cubic meters of water per year. In the next slide, we can see that the remediation project, it's not only a matter of technology, but it's also a matter of engagement, as particular with stakeholders. In particular, in this project, we have developed a life cycle of stakeholder networking strategy based on 10 rules. In the next slide, we can see the main stakeholder we have identified. In the next slide, please. That were divided based on a pentahelix model, let's say, that divide the stakeholder into businesses, capital, administration, society, and knowledge. And just to give you some advanced example, the main stakeholder that you also could envision for your site, demonstration site, could be industry that may adopt the technology to treat their effluent, but also entities who are directly impacted by the change in the water quality, small, medium enterprise and professional that could be involved in the procurement and in the construction of the related demonstration site, but also government and non-government organization, and also educational and research and innovation organization. Finally, business and industry may be interested also in the reuse of the high quality effluent for different purposes. In fact, the water that come out from the microalgae-based technology is basically a water ready to drink. It's a clean water that can be used for different purposes. In the next slide is just to tell you that we have already performed three workshops at the demo site. So we had a workshop in Italy, in Turkey, and in Greece, trying to gather and collect all the stakeholders of the areas. The stakeholders in this project are particularly located in the specific 3 demonstration sites that I just showed you. In the next slide, we can see, and it's one of the last, we can see the main reason why we are organizing this call. And the main reason is the fact that during this project, we are expected to select 5 associated regions to get this cascade funding program. And in particular, the call invite third parties, and in particular, local and regional public organizations in the EU that are EU member states or associated country that should propose replication site for assessing the replicability of the remediation technology. So we need to find 5 different associated regions, and each of them could be granted with 100,000 euros per each of the 5 associated regions. Particularly relevant information that Antonino will give you and that I can anticipate is the funding, so 100,000 per each associated region. The eligibility, so to be eligible, we are looking for local and regional authorities in the EU member states or associated country, excluding the countries that are already in the consortium. So Italy, Greece, Portugal, Belgium, and Turkey are excluded. The submission period for the moment is March 31st till May 31st. However, please stay tuned in our communication channel, as this submission period could be slightly anticipated. Finally, in the next slide, you can see the consortium that is involved in the remediation project, which include 11 partners coming from Belgium, Portugal, Italy, Greece, and Turkey. And this is all, and so I leave the floor again to Antonino in order to give you some administrative information regarding the open call for associated region.
Okay, thank you very much, Luca, for your comprehensive and thorough presentation on the remediation project. I know you will stay there also in the question time if some needs arises around technical aspects of the project. So I'm sharing my screen again. And I'll start with that part of the presentation which is aimed at showcasing the open call for associated regions. So in these few slides, just for the beginning of my presentation, I will give some essential around the project. So in the framework of work package 5, the remediation consortium, as Luca anticipated, is managing a lean financial support scheme to allocate funds to 5 selected replication sites with the aim to complement the exploitation activities of the remediation technology by sharing knowledge to maximize future implementation opportunities. So actually, the selected third parties will showcase the feasibility of the solutions in their replication site and prepare for implementation and scale up of the tested tools and technologies in their area. So basically, we will fund feasibility studies, that kind of action, that kind of solutions, not replication plans, but just feasibility studies for the replication of this solution in the selected replication sites. Who can apply? We know that we must get accustomed to this term that is associated regions. Associated regions is our target. They are understood as areas with ecosystem that can benefit from the demonstration activities, and they have the need to build capacity to implement the innovative solutions to restore freshwater ecosystems. So these proposals should ensure that the associated regions are located in member states and countries associated to the Horizon Europe that are other than those that are already partner of the project's consortium. So countries being part of the remediation consortium, that is to say Belgium, Greece, Italy, Portugal, and Turkey, are not eligible. Also, I have to highlight that remediation has a sister project that is called MED, and unfortunately for us, but not necessarily for you, countries financed through the MED project are not eligible. Unfortunately, the full list of these countries will not be available before the publication of our open call for associated regions. So there is this slight opportunity that some country that you are representing just in this presentation will not be eligible, but we think that it is however a good idea to get prepared and to get ready to apply to this opportunity. Here I will give you, again, in a nutshell, just some information around the application process and the timeline. The call launch is foreseen for March 31st, but as Luke anticipated, it can be anticipated, but anyway, potential applicants will be updated around that. The deadline for submission is March 31st, 2025, and applicants shall submit their application using the selected and official platform that will be ready for the 31st of March, and I will show you later anyway. So the timeline is foresees that the evaluation and selection will occur in June 2025. Granting should be completed at the end of August, and the project implementation is foreseen around the 1st of September 2025, and the project end in May 2026. So the purpose of the call has a total budget of 500,000 euros to fund up to 5 replication sites, and the aim is so engage local and regional authority to demonstrate the feasibility of remediation solutions technology, support the third parties in the development of their replication strategy and creating an associated roadmap, securing the interest of local and regional authorities, setting the basis for a roadmap to program future scenarios of distressing solutions. Also support the third parties involved in the upscale from local to national. This is how we will see later. The third step, the last step of your project. The third parties will be involved also in further demonstrating the innovative remediation solutions. They will propose their own use cases to address their specific challenges and objectives, aligning with the goals of remediation. They also showcase the feasibility of the solutions in their replication sites and prepare for implementation and scale up of the tested technologies. Beneficiaries also will follow the remediation projects in its major achievements and demonstration activities, and they will also be assisted with technical advisory because, of course, in order to replicate, the remediation project technology, they need to be updated with the project steps. What about the funding? So the funding, the support will be provided only in form of grants. The exact amount of grant cannot exceed 100,000 euros for each associated regions. The selected parties, this is very important, are considered indirect beneficiaries of the European Commission funding, and as such, they are responsible for the proper utilization of the funding and must ensure that recipients comply with the obligations outlined in the specific requirements of Horizon Europe. There is to say that associated regions, once they are funded, they become like the EU member states. There is no difference, so they must comply to these kinds of obligations. What about the obligations? There is to say conflict of interest should be avoided, confidentiality and security should be ensured, and the ethics visibility as well. The same applies to the information procedure, record keeping. So there is to say that compliance with standards should be implemented in order to harmonize with the exploitation activities of the remediation technologies. As for ethics, the proposal should adhere to the so-called do no significant harm principle, and also they should address the objectives of the European Green Deal. As for data management, the data obtained by the project should comply with the FAIR principles. There is to say that should be findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, and so on. What about the eligibility rules? Submissions are made only to the F6S platform using the address that you can find here. Proposals submitted differently cannot be evaluated. What about the applicants? This is also very important. Applicants should be local and regional authorities from associated regions, so located in EU member states or countries associated to Horizon Europe. Other than those that are part of the project, as we have already seen, an associated region shall benefit from the financial support of third parties provided under this topic only once. That's because that's why we should take into account the countries funded by our sister project called RHE. Proposals finally must showcase the use of remediation technologies to be replicated. So let's go on with the eligibility rules. The proposal should foresee a clear European dimension. There is to say that it must be demonstrated that there is a need for European funding, a European support within your proposed activities. Also, the applications must be provided only in English. Proposal description must be submitted according to some annexes. There is to say the guidelines for applicants, proposal template, technical specifications. These application package, how to say, will be provided to you in due time. Also, there is a need to respect the maximum budget request per proposal. Only complete applications will be accepted, of course, and a proposal must be, of course, submitted before the deadline. What kind of beneficiary we are looking for? Projects, as we have seen, can be submitted only by local and regional authorities. Local and regional authorities from an associated regions are legal entity, including bodies representing local and regional authorities, such as regional planning bodies, local agency, and so on. And this is very important. The third parties will have to investigate the legislation in their country, and they need to provide the official evidence showing that they are actually a local or a regional authority to be eligible. So it is a task of the potential applicants to demonstrate that they are eligible. It is very important noting that private entities are not permitted to apply. However, once a local authority has been awarded, it may consider alternative collaboration methods with also these entities. And then only single local authorities are eligible to apply. That is to say that consortia made up of more than one local authorities are not deemed eligible. What about eligible countries? This is very important. Countries that are already part of the remediation project are not eligible. Eligible beneficiaries are member states again and associated regions, and we cannot provide just now a list of the eligible countries, because this list changes continuously due to political reasons that are out of our control, and therefore the list will be communicated to the applicant in the EU portal for application just close to the open call release. But mainly you must know that countries from the EU member states and countries from the Mediterranean basin, excluding countries that are third countries and not associated to the EU, are eligible. So which kind of activities will be eligible for funding? So the selected beneficiaries committed to carry out the following activities, such as be aware of the project progress through reading the project, publishable documentation made available, contribute to outlining pros and cons associated with the use of the remediation technologies, undertake preliminary design assessment, and develop a work timetable and a roadmap for future implementation. Promote the exploitation of the developed roadmap to be endorsed at the national level, contribute to or participate in a specific workshop where relevant authorities and interested stakeholders are invited to attend at the end of the work package 5 of the remediation project. This is very important in order to scale up your project from local to national. There is the third part of your proposal. What about the deadline, language, and conflict of interest? Some key aspects that actually we have already seen are just showcased in these slides. The call will be open from the end of March, perhaps earlier, to the end of May 2025. The deadline is not flexible. English is the only official language, even though during the accounting activities being implemented in these last weeks, we have also provided some document in French to our embassies in order to, to widespread the opportunity within this call. So different languages have been used, but please be aware that English is the only official language. To avoid conflict of interest, applicants will be also asked to submit the so-called Annex 3 remediation declaration of honor during the contracting phase. So we were just there about the application procedure. The submission will be done to the F6S platform. The applicants are required to register. We have also a project website, of course, and there you will find the documents needed to apply. These documents are mainly the guidelines for applicants, the technical specification, the proposal template. This is a document that must be submitted in the PDF format containing the project and should be uploaded within the F6S platform. So F6S platforms, once you are registered there, will just ask you to fill some, just a few administrative data, and then the project itself is this, it will be the proposal template, and it should be not filled but uploaded within this platform, and then the declaration of owner. Of course, after application submission, after the application submission, editing is not possible anymore. And you can request a resubmission to this website. And please also take into account that resubmissions less than 48 hours before the call deadline should be avoided. What about the evaluation process? We have three main steps. The first one is the eligibility check. It will be performed by the CNR against the self-declarations included in the application form. And what we will check if the proposal has been received in due time and the proper way, if the legal entity actually exists, if the country is eligible, what kind of the third party you are, if the proposal is written in English, and so on. The eligible proposal will move to the next stage. The next stage is aimed at assessing the so-called relevancy screening. There will be an evaluation committee under the coordination of us, the CNR, and composed of one representative for each project partner. We will check the scope of the proposal, so if it is in line with the scope of the remediation project and the European dimension with reference to the dimension of the remediation project and its proposed technology. Proposal that address the above mentioned criteria will move to the next stage of evaluation. And these are the criteria, the evaluation criteria, that is to say the technical value, the impact of the proposed activity, and the implementation of the project. You can see the maximum in terms of score and also the threshold to be addressed, to be respected. The following scores will be assigned to each criterion: 0 if the proposal is unfortunately very bad, poor, fair, good, very good, and the top is of course excellent. We can go on. So the evaluation itself, each evaluator will score the 3 evaluation criteria from 0 to 5. After all members have scored the evaluation criteria, the committee will gather and produce the evaluation summary report, the same as any project proposal submitted to Horizon Europe or so on. For eligible applicants, the minimum threshold is 3 out of 5 points, and if a proposal receives less than 3 in any of the criteria, it will be rejected automatically. So what about the technical value? We will check the relevance, which is the level of relevance of the proposal, of the proposed replication site, the uniqueness, that is to say how many remediation actions have been implemented so far, what is the level of knowledge already acquired. What about the impact? We'll check the social and environmental impact. What is the estimated social and environmental impact, impacts connected to your proposal within the hotspot, and also which is the local network and which is the upscale potential. So that is to say, what is the capacity to upscale to national level? Are financial schemes to be mobilized other than the financial support from the EU mission, and so on. What about the implementation? So the quality of the implementation, there is to say that actions proposed should be realistic, feasible, well-defined, and so on. what is the proposed data flow during the activities deployment, and what about your team and the resource you think you will implement. The team should be cross-functional with diverse skills and expertise, gender-based. Gender balance, should be taken a lot into account. Also, the attractiveness of the use case will be prioritized in the evaluation projects. Step 4 deals with the intermediate ranking of proposals. All proposals will be ranked based on their overall average score from in case of a tie, which is the situation. So we will give priority to the highest score in the technical value section and the gender balance. So a ranking list at the end of this process will be generated. Actually, two lists: the list of selected proposal and the reserve list. The first list will comprise the highest ranked proposals selected for funding, and the latter will be used in case of some problems, some trouble arises. To a specific third party. And the choice so may pass to the next ranked proposals. A selected proposal will be notified and will be invited for a sub-grant agreement preparation and signature with the CNR. There is also the opportunity for appeal requests. These need to be received within 3 working days from the reception of the evaluation summary report. They should be very, very precise about the compliant, should be sent by the entity's legal representative. But please note that the committee will not challenge the scientific and technical judgment of expert evaluators, and also that the evaluation score resulting from any re-evaluation may be also lower than the original score, and so on. Contracting relates to project negotiation and sub-grant agreement. CNR will initiate the sub-grant agreement preparations. Actually, there is also a scheme of SGA already prepared by our institute and our headquarters in Rome. The contracts aims to fulfill the legal requirements between the remediations consortium represented by the CNR and every beneficiary of the call. The party will sign the contract under a lump sum model. That is to say that these are predefined payment arrangements that encompass the entire budget for the research project. We will see later what this means. The sub-grant agreement also will include an individual work plan as an annex. This document will be prepared by both the CNR and the grantee, and will outline the so-called key performance indicators, KPIs, and deliverables that will considered when evaluating the grantee's performance at the milestone reviews. That is to say that every SGA will be a little bit different from another, and in terms of individual work plan, because and the key performance indicator, because these two main aspects will be defined for each of the up to five grantees. The program has a total duration of 9 months and is divided into 3 stages. Stage 1 refers to the replication site definition and has a duration of a couple of months. In cooperation, the beneficiaries in collaboration with the mentorship committee, there is that will assist the applicant in achieving these KPIs, should evaluate the compatibility of the project activities with this with the chosen replication site, and you will submit a deliverable at the end of this period of this stage 1. There is a work plan for replication site. Definition and characterization. The stage 2 refers to the replication site implementation. It has a duration of 4 months. It involves the actual implementation of the activities described in the proposals with the aim to demonstrate their feasibility adopting remediation solutions. You will be expected to submit another deliverable. That is it is the technical and progress report on replication site implementation and co-creation activity, including a publishable summary of the results obtained. This stage 2 will be managed by both the CNR and Arena Consulting, that is the leader of this subtask. What about stage 3 is as I already mentioned, is the replication site upscale evaluation and feedback, 3 months of duration. The aim is to evaluate the potential for application of remediation solutions and to deliver an exploitation plan to be upscaled to the level of interest of other potential replication sites in the same territory, nation. So you will be expected to submit an upscale exploitation plan, including stakeholder assessment and impact assessment and so on. Here you will see in this table a more detailed representation of these program specifications. So payments will be made in 3 installments, up to 17%. Then the second fixed lump sum of 58,000 euros, and the last one is just the 25%, up to 100,000 euros. And what about the program evaluation? Beneficiaries' outputs will be evaluated at the end of this stage. I mean the deliverables I mentioned before. Beneficiary will receive a review report that indicates whether deliverables and KPIs have been accepted, and payments will be released accordingly, no later than 30 calendar days after notification by the contractors. The mentorship will evaluate the performance based on some criteria, the quality, the performance, the technical performance indicator, and the deadline compliance. So based on the final scores, grantees scoring above the threshold, 6 points, will successfully receive the next payment. And grantees scoring below the thresholds will be proposed by the mentorship committee as candidate for dismissal from the program. However, the committee may grant short extensions, allowing grantees to update and resubmit the deliverables, which could make them eligible for payment if approved. Grantees will also be asked to participate remotely participate in events such as audio calls, video calls, webinars, online training sessions organized or recommended by the consortium or by the EU mission. These events are aimed at closely monitoring the project and its demonstration activities while building the capacity to implement innovative solutions. And applicants will also be encouraged to allocate resources to showcase their involvement in relevant events, such as those organized by the Mission Ocean. There will be also some resources offered to the grantees during the program. There is a mentorship committee and an open call manager. The mentorship committee will support the beneficiaries in reading the relevant project documentation, developing the work timetable, monitor the project progress, provide technical evaluations. That is to say, all those technical aspects are related to the project proposal and the project program being implemented. There will be also an open call manager mainly dealing with administrative staff. It will be actually an administrative contact point. It will be appointed by the CNR, and it will track project progress, collect deliverables, organize project reviews, report progress to the remediation coordination team, and so on. Visibility to EU funding, as I already mentioned, once a third country, or in this case an associated regions, is funded by the European Commissions, it becomes actually such a EU member state, and it must address a number of requirements. These requirements apply also to visibility. There is to say that any communication activities must display the EU emblem, the mission ocean logo, the remediation logo. There is also a text that is compulsory for every communication activities, and also you in any publicity created by the third party, you must clearly state that it reflects only the author's view and not that of the European Commission, and so on. So this is the final slides. These are the contacts. Actually, there will be a short question time in just beginning at the end of this presentation. So please feel free to ask to us both on technical aspects, and Luca will help you, and for mainly aspects related, administrative aspects related to the call, the application procedure, and so on. And we will be ready. We will be happy to help you with more information. And here you can find also some links very useful for you. And as I already mentioned, this presentation is being registered, and there will be the opportunity to watch it again in the YouTube channel of the project. So thank you very much to all of you. I'm very happy for this huge participation. There will be also another edition of this webinar. It will be at the beginning of the year, in perhaps February or March, just before the official launch of the open call for associated regions. And I hope to meet you again, and actually even more people, hopefully, at the second edition of our webinars. Thank you again for your attention, and you are free to ask for more information. Thank you very much.